Happy Thursday to you. This is the John McEntyre Show live. I'm John McEntyre, and today is August 22nd, 2024. It's another one of those hot days. I'm not going to give a full weather report here, but just say it is hot and the air is pumping. But um, we're going to get into the show today. But something I saw earlier, I was like, man, why didn't I uh, hold on to all of those? Star Wars action figures, all of those different action figures that we grew up playing with. Another one just went to auction, a Boba Fett Star Wars action figure. It's like rare now from 1979, $1.3 million at auction. $1.3 million, and that's like one of the rare ones that was made. The other one that's not so rare, it went for like half a million. So I'm like, man, these things was plated, all this, that, and the other. But those they were actually still in their packages and everything. So that's what brought me. But if you actually have one and you played with it or whatever, but it's still in good shape, you can still get up to six figures with it. So everyone out there, if you're looking for a good wallet win, want to pay off some debt, whatever, go to the old toy boxes and everything and see if you have any of these action figures, because you don't know what's going to happen with them. Every day there's a new story coming out about that. So I just had to mention that one blew my mind. But let's get into these wallet wins. And today I'm going to talk about what to go into a will, what you should put in the will, because people are forgetting some things that they don't, what people don't think about, these certain things that should go in the will. So I'm just going to touch on a few of those. Um, in recognition, I totally, August has flown by on me. Everything we went out of town, we was traveling and all of that, so the month almost got away from me. But actually, August is National Make a Will Month. That's what it is in personal finance. It is National Make a Will Month. And so I wanted to make sure. And even though I've answered the question about wills, and I will keep, questions keep coming in, I'll keep answering them. But this particular one, I wanted to make sure and cover it before the month got away from me, and we end up in September. Uh, so we'll get into the wallet wins. Wallet win number one: I am 62 and I have paid all debts, including my house. Yep, big time wallet win there. That's the way to go into it. If you're going to, retire in the traditional way, that is the way to go into retirement. Totally debt free, including the home. Um, Mainly because you do have equity, things like that. If you ever needed it, you could tap into it if you needed it. So it can actually serve you well. But just knowing that you will not have to um, worry about or be concerned about paying debts that large in retirement, unless you have, like, something going on that's like a business that's still going, you're still owner of it, still getting income, things like that. But if you're going to be on what they would almost consider like a fixed income, then yeah, it is a good idea to have much of your income freed up as possible. So being 62, having all debts, including the house, paid off, good job. This one, another real estate one. I made the last payment on my home equity line of credit. Oh yeah, I bet that was a big relief to get that out of the way. Because other than, and I did a show on that a couple of weeks ago. Other than taking care, maybe upgrading the home, specifics of the home, um, I'm not a big fan of HELOCs, of home equity lines of credit. Only reason why the money should be pulled is to take care of what the mortgage was originally for, which is the house. So if you're doing things to increase the value of the house or to make it more of your own, if it's going to be the house you're going to live in, you're planning to stay in from, pretty much forever, then yes, a HELOC, and stay on top of it. But there are other ways you could take care of that. take care of those like updates. So, but making the last payment, I bet that is a big relief. And number three, my utility bill actually is lower this summer compared to last summer. That's a serious wallet win. Ours was lower in August this year, mainly because we wasn't here one of the weeks. So, reason why I was low because we just wasn't using power, and that's probably the only time it's going to be low. Um, when you have like a teenage cat living in your house, 1 minute they're hot, 1 minute they're cold, you know, this, that, and the other, up and down, and lights and all of this type of stuff. Uh, we just want to keep every. If we could just break even, we just keep it steady. We're good. Uh, and that's not just me. That's talking to other parents. I was like, yes, I would have a much lower cost of utility if if you know who would like not have every light in the house on at one time. Like walking in to eat, you could tell what room they've been in because the lights are still on, or something's still running, or whatever's still on, or whatever. So, and the people, the empty nesters, was like, yes, I know my some of my expenses are going to go down, mainly, especially in the area of power, food, water. That's going to be a drastic drop. We may actually be able to do a trip around the world. I had one guy, he said that was so funny. He said, yeah, I'm going to take all of my vacations at one time, all the money we've saved, I'm going around the world. I'm like, yeah, good for you. So yeah, there we are. Three good wallet wins there. And I want to make sure to stress to you, share yours. Make sure to share your wallet wins. These are small wallet wins, are those small actions that you take uh, that moves you closer and closer to your financial goals. Like if nothing's too small, if you're opening a high yield savings account, that's a wallet win. You paid off a credit card, that's a wallet win. Whatever, you've saved money. Share it, because I can share it to the viewing audience, what you're doing, because that's what it's all about. That's what the community, that's what we're about, building a community where everyone's sharing their tips, because um, I don't know everything, to as far as saving money and all of everything. Andrea, she's much better at saving money than me, because she's more involved in certain things like shopping and stuff like that. I'm I only buy what I need. When I go to a store, uh, as a matter of fact, when is the last time? Well, we were in Hilton Head. That's we went into Walmart, and I hadn't been in a Walmart in almost 5 months before that. So yeah, um, I'm almost like incompetent in stores now. Online, Amazon, I can find a deal. Like it's certain things that I buy repetitively. I can find them, but that's online. You send me to the store, I don't want to do it. I'll wait till it hits online. I'm one of those. I have to make sure not allow uh, emotional spending to get the best of me online. I see a gadget, or I see something that I really need. I'm like, ooh, I need that. But you have like five in the garage. Well, I need six. So that's me. We all have to know our triggers. So that's why I say, hey, um, share your wallet wins, your questions, your comments. Share all of that, and we can make sure that we post it here online. Here, as we are as we're going through the show, we make sure that if you put it in the chat, put a hashtag wallet win, share it, or a uppercase Q comment. We see it, we'll make sure to share it, because I'm getting better at that now. Um, they'll put them up in the actual comment space for me, and I just overlook it. But now I'm getting better because I've been told, hey, you need to watch the comment box over here. You're telling the people to comment, share wallet wins. They're doing it. Why aren't you paying attention? So I'm paying attention now. So if you see my eyes moving around, it's not because I'm following something. I'm actually watching the chat. So there we go. All right, let's get into this topic today, which was actually a question. Um, and basically, the question is, what should I put in my will? And that was posed to us by someone who was younger. Then it was another person, it was basically a family, putting in. So most people, when they think of wills, they think of the big stuff, the stuff that's like near and dear, that's always been near and dear to most people, like the house, any cars, uh, the expensive jewelry, things like that. Most of it, when people think of wills, that's why younger people don't think of having a will, because when they've been taught, they've heard from parents and just society as a whole, well, I don't really own any assets or whatever, I don't own anything, I don't own a house, I don't own this. Okay, but you do have valuable stuff. The assets classes are constantly growing, especially with the ever since technology really um, took over, for lack of a better term, where ever since we became more dependent on technology, let me put it that way, um, new asset classes have been, created. Most people just don't realize it. In the business world, they've always sort of been around these certain types of assets. Like, for instance, your reputation is an asset in the business world. You have a bad reputation, people don't want to deal with you. You don't get clients, you're not in business. Uh, but in outside of business, people don't think of certain things as being assets or being what you call valuable enough to be put in a will. So I'm just going to cover a few of those, and just to trigger some memories and some things, some ideas for you. And then if you wanted to go further, you could contact us. We'll talk about it and everything. But the first one is inside the home, personal memorabilia. You know, family photos. Some people, they have a box of letters. They could be love letters, old love letters. They could be whatever. They could be letters, pen pal type letters, things like that that are very very valuable. And for instance, let's just say it's pen pal letters. Um, I saw, well, not saw. I know of there's a personal property appraiser, and it was like what most people don't think of with those letters. They were pen pals, maybe years ago, and they're older now, and so those letters are like near and dear to their heart. And the other person, the pen pal, is still alive. Well, they say, I would like for my pen pal to have these letters. Okay, you put them in the will, they will get them. You don't put them in the will, they may or may not. If they don't request them, something like that, they may or not. But if they're in the will, they will be sent. They have to, because it's your wishes. So that's one of them. Letters and other, personal memorabilia, journals. Journals are very valuable. It's like your ideas and your things that are near and dear to your heart, your deepest thoughts and feelings and everything. You don't want that stuff just out there floating. Well, you may have talked about someone in the family, and you don't want certain people to see it. I mean, it sounds funny, but it's true. you know, uh, because you really can't defend yourself now that you're gone. Some people say, "Well, I don't really care," but we all care about how we're going to be thought of when we, leave this world, and that's our legacy. So, a person thinking of legacy, and that's what you should always have in mind when it comes to these types of things. Have legacy. What do I want? How do I want to be thought of? Things like that. Okay, this nice epitaph is written on your tombstone, but then this journal, you're like the worst person in the world. You've talked about everyone. You've written down everything, so it's all out there. Someone can write one of those juicy romance novels behind what you've written in these journals, and didn't have them protected, but they are valuable. That's some of digital assets, social media accounts, especially if you have a large following. you know um, if you were building, like I said, on the business side, most of the time, that's taken account for. That's where the term influencer comes from. But everyone's an influencer. If you have friends and family in social media, or someone follows you, you are an influencer. You're just not like that, what the big mega influencer. uh, but that's still important. It's online, it's digital. uh, and you kind of want that to be protected or handled correctly. You know, I know one person, their sister passed away unexpectedly, and but just so happened they knew each other's account information, so she was able. So she does a the birthday things, stuff like that. If people want to say happy birthday or they want to share memories, she's able to do that. That's like her online scrapbook about her sister, because she loves her, she misses her, and I can understand why, because I mean she was in her 30s, and like I say, it was unexpected. And because of that, even though they were not looking at it as an asset, that's actually what it was. It's a digital asset. That's very important. If it's important and valuable to you, that makes it an asset. There's more than one type. Financial is just one type of asset. I'll cover all of the assets. That's for a different show. Um, Online bank accounts. Someone needs to be able to access these accounts for you, just in case something happens. While you're alive, that's power of attorney. You have a power of attorney, someone that you trust will be able to take care of that for you. But if it's not in a will, and it doesn't have instructions or maybe where all of this information is, it can be a pain getting to it, and it could cause some things to be delayed because they don't have full access of everything, and they have to go jump through some hoops now to just get some basic things. Had you just written about it in the will, where it's located, this and everything, it will be much easier to take care of the affairs after you're gone. um, Email accounts, you know if most people, they job, they have a job one, then they have maybe a personal, and then some people, if they have a business or something like that, sometimes they may blend both of them. They may have, using the same account. um, Something happens and they really need to access those accounts. uh, that's like trying to get into Fort Knox to get access to someone's email. That's not an easy process at all, to be able to access emails, because it's the equivalent of accessing someone's mail. So it's treated the same. So that's why that one's important. Uh, Plenty of people, they don't think about this one. Uh, Pass away, talk to people before. Okay, who's going to take care of the cat? Who's going to take care of the dog? Your pets. Who's going to take care of those? Most people will say, well, I so they've already said they're going to take care of them. If someone starts arguing about the pet, it's not going to be as easy. You have to take that into an account. Um, Also, if you're leaving a pet, they're going to require care after you've passed away. So you also may want to have instructions, the finances, something in place to take care of the pet, like you would a child. Most people treat their pets like children today, and they have them, in their wills and all of it, everything, their estates. Like, who's going to take care of my child if I pass away before, while they're a minor? Who gets custody of my kids? Okay, you're treating that dog, they're treated like family. Okay, plan for them like family. Put them in there. I pass. I need Killer to go to my brother, who helped train Killer. Killer's my brother's the only one that Killer's gonna deal with. Everyone else was like, we can't deal. And yeah, he's a little Chihuahua, but Killer's rough. And he's picky. So you have to put that in. You have to put that into take that into an account. Treat the pet. If pet is important, treat it like that. Wealthy folks don't have a problem. We've seen plenty of stories out there. Uh, Helmsley, Leona Helmsley, New York, big. She inherited. She part of the Helmsley family, big, huge in real estate, media, all types of business, hundreds of millions of dollars. The poodle got all of the estate. So the person that's taking care of the poodle is riding high too. So wealthy people, they think about stuff like that. I mean, I don't think I'd leave Kill all the money. but I do want to make sure Killer is taken care of, well taken care of. But this poodle's up there living on the upper west east side of Manhattan, some of the most expensive real estate in the world. They got it good. And someone has to take care of them. So that person was also assigned to take care of this and take care of the dog. Make sure that dog is treated just as well as if she was still alive. And but hey, I'm not mad at that. That was family. She considered it family, her closest family. So there you go. So pets, passwords, and access information. I want to make sure we talked a little bit about email, but your password to your devices. Like if your computers are locked or your phone is locked, that's not an easy access. Um, that's another thing. You have to jump through hoops. You pretty much almost have that's almost have has to be handled by the courts to have access to that. But if you've put it in your will that this particular person has all of these all of this information, my personal information, my access to my computers, to my phones and accounts and emails and everything, my PIN numbers, has access to all of that. That will make it a whole lot easier. Excuse me. So passwords and access information, very important, high on the list. And this is one people rarely think about. They rarely. And I actually had an estate planner that was talking about it. Uh, they are just thorough like that. Debts that are owed to you. If someone owes you money and it's proven, maybe you have a promissory notes or some types of contracts, everything, put them in the will. Because if they're not in the will, no one knows about them. They won't collect on them. If it's a nice amount of money, that could be more money passed to the heirs. You know, so if it's legal, it it can be collected by your estate, and that's one a lot of people you hear. It's so common almost to where you almost don't hear it any longer. You really don't hear it when it's said, yeah, this person passed away, and all these people owe them money. Uh, well, they can't really prove it. Now, if you can find the documents, they've been signed, notarized, all of this type of stuff. There is it's a true blue contract. Then yes, it can be. The court will honor it. They will make the effort to collect for you. But it's just easier to have all of that in the estate. It's like the will is attached. All of these documents. Now you see all these documents. Will is rarely just one piece of paper. It's like if it's in there, there needs to be proof attached. This is in my will, and this is how you access it. So then it becomes a package of papers itself, a big document itself. So those are some of the major ones. Oh yeah, one more: subscription and memberships. Subscriptions and memberships. You belong to the gym. You have Netflix. You have all of these online subscriptions. A lot of people today they subscribe to food deliveries. What is it? Those that what is the business? The box where the meals in the box, are delivered on a constant basis. I can't remember the name right now, but it just can't cross my mind. Um, it would be sort of crazy to someone to have passed away and then like 2 or 3 months later there's like packages of food and all of this stuff just stacked up in front of the house, and they're paying for it. They're still paying for it, and no one's using it. Or those gym memberships, because you don't tell them, they are going to keep collecting. It's most of the time it's on automatic draft anyway, so it's going to keep happening. So it needs to be in the will that I belong to here, that I belong to this, and that, and these need to be taken care of. They need to be canceled, and so there we go. In the will, that's called a letter of instruction to let you know where everything is located. So if you talk to an estate planner or someone about a will, you'll see letter of instruction is telling how everything is to be carried out. Your wishes are to be carried out. So There we go. There's some extra pointers, reminders of what should go in the will and why it's so important now. Why having a will, no matter your age, why it's pretty much so important now, because you have assets. As you can see, if you have social media assets, you know, and there's ways it can save you money, uh, like keep money, unnecessary money from being spent out of your accounts, and the right people having access to it. So that takes me to today's question of the day before I go. Do you have a will? I've asked the question before. And if so, if you do, is it updated? That's the question of the day. Two parts. Do you have a will? Yes or no? If yes, is it updated? If no, when are you going to get a will? I'll add that as a tagline. So I hope I gave some good information today. If I did, please share it. Please subscribe to the channel. Let everyone know about this. Share your questions, comments, your wallet wins. Uh, Tune in tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about Medicare. Andrea, she'll be on with me. We'll be answering a question about Medicare. So until tomorrow, have a good one. We'll talk.